Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Ishmael from Conjured Realm. So in today's video, I thought I'd teach you guys something cool that I typically normally do when I see some circumstances in my physical world, and something that you guys can try when you're trying to manifest something so you can troubleshoot how or why certain things are occurring in your physical reality. So if you guys watched my last video, I was talking about identity, and this is going to almost piggyback off of that. And so one of the main things I like to do if I am getting circumstances or if I see something opposing my thoughts for the manifestation that I want to bring in, one thing you should always do and remember in those circumstances is you stop and you ask yourself, what am I identifying with that is causing this to happen? Who am I being? Because when you ask who you are being, right? Because everything is based off of an identity. Every manifestation occurs off of an identity that you are occupying. When you ask yourself, what identity am I occupying that has caused this to happen? You can kind of troubleshoot and acknowledge some of the thoughts that were going on in your mind that led you to experience this circumstance. So let's say SP isn't with you, or SP is being hot and cold, or your SP isn't texting you, or you're just in no contact. Okay, you can stop yourself for a second and ask, what am I identifying with? Who am I being in this moment that supports that story? So in those moments, you can kind of see that you were either thinking unfavorable thoughts, you were assuming things about SP that weren't favorable, you were assuming that he or she wasn't here, you were probably assuming that there was somebody else, and it showed you evidence of who you were being. So when you stop and ask questions like this, it can kind of shift your awareness in a more productive manner so that you can go ahead and fix and alter that, so you can identify with the identity that you do prefer to be in. And it's very easy, and you can do this throughout the day or as periodically as it comes up. But for me personally, if I see circumstances, I do one of a couple things. I will stop and ask myself, who am I being? Or something else that I like to do is I don't look at circumstances or things that are negative as negative things. More so what I like to do is I acknowledge that it's there, so I observe. I don't absorb, right? Because I don't want to spiral and I don't want to give anything negative meaning. I observe it and I just give it the meaning that, okay, well, if it's here, then for some reason it is serving me in some way. I may not necessarily know what that way is, and it's not my job to know why or what the reason is. But all I know is my identity has to stick with the person who already has their desire. The person who already has their desire isn't worried about this circumstance, because this is just the middle, the unfolding. Don't accidentally get stuck in the unfolding or the middle because it feels or looks a little too real, right? You need to always go back to your identity. I've already claimed my manifestation. I've already claimed my desire. It is here now. All I am doing now is moving through the bridge of incidents that will cause my manifestation to happen, right? And bear in mind, I'm saying things like cause it to happen and like process, but it's not really a process, because the second you shift your identity to already having something, you already have it. As we all know, there is only one reality. There is no 3D or 4D. Imagination is the only reality. Everything is just one. However, I have to speak in these terms so you guys can kind of understand a little better. Every second of the day, you're always identifying with something. You're always validating something. You're always invalidating something. So if you see something you don't like, you can either make it mean nothing, be neutral about it, or you can assign it a good meaning. Or two, you can go back to who you are identifying as and remind yourself, well, this is probably the unfolding and it has nothing to do with me. Let me get out of the way so that my desires can happen. Because a lot of the times when you get stuck in the middle, you think that this is your end, and because your awareness is on the middle, you only perpetuate more of what you don't want. Do you see how we accidentally manifest things that we don't want because we get too caught up in the illusions? It's okay to stop and remind yourself what you are, who you are being, and immediately once you shift your identities, because everything's in the now, right, you are back on track. A circumstance, a person, a 3D blip is not enough to make it not happen. The only person here that has to say to make something not happen is you. not a circumstance, not an SP, not a situation, only you. If you say it's not working, then it's not going to work. But if you say that this circumstance happened and I'm still getting what I want, then that's exactly what has to play out. Take complete advantage of your power. You don't only have power against SP, you don't only have power against money. You have and reign over your whole reality. So you can give meaning to anything and you can make things play out how you want. You just have to understand when and how to apply your abilities in certain situations. Does that make sense? So give that a try, see how that works for you, because 10 times out of 10, this will be enough to troubleshoot and correct what is going on in your physical world. Literally, this is all I do. And truly, once I started to apply this, I honestly don't even do techniques anymore. Techniques are some things I do very few and far between, and I only do them for fun, or I only do them when like I'm with a client and they want something that they can try out so that they can build their confidence in manifesting. But otherwise, honestly, I don't ever use techniques. I just decide something and it's done. And I go about my day because I know that consciousness has to experience what consciousness validates. So give that a try, see how that works for you. Leave any comments down below because I'm very interested in hearing your results once this is something you start applying. But anyways, if you guys want one-on-one coaching, head over to my website at conjuredrealm.com. I'm still doing coaching, you guys. Just because I don't post often doesn't mean I'm not doing coaching. I'm always doing coaching. You can email me for any questions at conjuredrealm@gmail.com. Leave some video ideas or something that you guys want me to talk about more on here, and I'll be sure to get to those. But yeah, happy manifesting.